Hello and welcome to Real Voices of Happy Valley with us, Viv and Dave. In this episode we talk to Mark Wibsey, who is the organiser of the walking football in the valley.
Yes, they're called the Valley Strollers.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
one of several teams in the area.
So he tells us about what it is, who can get involved, and a bit about himself.
How and when, yes.
Yeah.
He's a splendid chap who just puts lots of effort into, organising walking football.
And he's done, he's coached football teams, like kids' teams, in the past. And, got a good history of it.
So let's have a listen to him. There we are, Viv, sitting in our sort of cosy living room with Mark Wibsey, who's set up walking football in the valley.
Yeah, I think so. I think that'd be a good way of describing it in various guises, I think.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Walking football, simply, in its simplest sense, is football, not running. So it's just walking, right?
Right.
So basically, although walking is contentious, it struggles with its definition as it translates itself into walking football. As Dave will know, it's very hard to stop running. I think for a lot of people, they make it like that, and it was designed by a guy over in Chesterfield. I think it's John Crute in 2011. Started something up with Chesterfield, and it was like, this must be relatively simple to do this. It was people who were playing, or not necessarily ever played before, but just wanted to do something at a slower pace. So walking football at a slower pace with no contact, no heading, no heights. So it should be simple. It's a simple version made more difficult by players.
Right. So it's a kind of power walking type.
There are some people you do expect to see Nordic poles, as they come along. So there are some people who have a very strange walking gait, I think, that's how you do it. We talking about Sherwin. Sherwin has the perfect example of what a walk in walking football should be. Yeah. So Sherwin plays for Strollers, Calder Valley, and so that's basically it. It should be. Well, I've certainly found it, being injury-prone playing normal football, that actually you're pretty lucky with walking football. It's slips, trips and falls, but that's an age thing. So the way that I set it up here is that it's open to everyone. So sometimes walking football, certainly for women, the way that they set it up was over 35s, over 40s, whereas with men, historically, it's been over 50s, and then they have over 60s. 70s, but the way that we've done it as Strollers, we've just said it's open to anyone over 50, and that way anyone can play. It's we have mixed sessions, so it's male, and anyone that wants to play can play.
Right, fair enough. I don't want to sound sexist, but I've seen some of the women, I suspect, one or two lying about their age.
Well, no, I think that I know who the youngest people are, because we have to register everybody. So we go from the age of 52 through to 80.
Right.
I won't name names. I'm not 80 and I'm not 52, so we get away with that. But I'll just say that they're both men. And actually, the women probably mid-50s.
Right.
Mid-50s.
Okay. Wow.
So despite, I'll pass on your thanks that they all look younger for their age.
Right, that'll get me out of trouble. Yeah. Okay, so how popular is it?
Walking football's hugely popular. It's I was going to say it is the fastest growing. I'm not sure it's the fastest growing anymore, because pickleball seem to have taken part of that. So it depends on how you quantify things. But hugely popular. You have well over 600, 700 walking football clubs in England.
That many?
Yeah, at least. You probably find in the Calder Valley, we're a bit short. We don't have as many great facilities to put stuff on, and in some of the other areas you've got tie-ins with championship clubs or premiership clubs, etc., and they have community trusts or community foundations, and they're able to support things in a different way. But Age UK used to do a lot, not necessarily in Calderdale, but they got significant funding from the lottery, and that tended to be attracting a slightly older group, I would think. But the main thing was, with our sessions, is there wasn't anything happening outside of weekdays, like 9 to 5, that's when they happened, which obviously means that quite a few people can't actually participate because they were working, or they got other things on, or they're doing stuff.
Retirement tends to come later these days as well.
Yeah, so that was the reason, that was part of the reason that we started the Saints on a Wednesday, Thursday, and now it's gone to Monday at Calder High as well. But there wasn't anything at the weekend. It's phenomenally popular, and you don't often find that once people start, that they stop. So there might be injuries and so forth that preclude people. Quite a lot of people go off for various knee transplants and so forth, or hip transplant.
That's the age.
Exactly, that's the demographic, isn't it?
The age of new.
We just ship another one in. So we're just waiting outside the physio's room for the hip doctors and say, yeah, just pass them on to us. So you tend to get quite a broad range in age group now. Originally, I think it was set up for slightly older, but it's become more and more popular. I think with walking football, there was a big gap between mainstream grassroots football. So you had veterans, certainly, you didn't have a female equivalent of it was over 18s, bang, that was it. You didn't have any extra age groups in. And then West Riding, or West Yorkshire FA for the rest of the people, put a masters section in which was over 45s and 9-a-side. So that meant people that could continue were able to find an outlet for that. And I would say sometimes the biggest hurdle for people is to get, I can't, this walking football life, it's not for me. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. And actually, when you do it, people enjoy it, And I think certainly with it being open to anyone, a lot of the testosterone comes down. So the males behave less like the idiots that we can all be when we stand on the football pitch, regardless. I'm not saying that the women don't, but it makes for, I think it makes for a more enjoyable experience. So we don't have any sort of female specific sessions and stuff like that.
So it's generally mixed?
Yeah, generally mixed. And, I was trying to, we have regulars that come. I mean, one of our stars, Barbara, has moved out of the area, but she makes a specific effort to come over on Sunday for the sessions at Todd Sports. And Todd Sports Centre have been really helpful, towards us and supporting us and to do things.
They are, the staff there are generally very helpful. Yeah. I sometimes take grandkids in the swimming.
Yeah.
As you know, I've been to the walking football and walking cricket a few times. Yeah. They're lovely.
Yeah.
And it's walking praise them highly enough.
No, they're really nice. There. And I'll have to give a shout out for Richard Woods, or Woody, who sadly left. He's still within Calderdale Council, but he's left Todd Sports Centre. And he was. They were really good when we put festivals and stuff on like that. They couldn't have been any more helpful really in what they've done. So from that perspective, it's been an excellent success, and we can't take credit for inventing the game. We can't take credit for lots and lots of things. All we can take credit for is that it's added quite a lot of physical activity into an area where people weren't actually doing anything. It was sedentary behaviour. They won't mind me saying they were sitting at home on the sofa, a bit like us having a chat, but we do it all the time, sort of thing. So it actually forced people to come out, and a lot of people, and this is where it's really quite strange, weren't known to each other, but actually have come together, and there's been more sort of friendship, and so there's that social aspect to it as well. So yeah,
that's right. That's great. And now you mentioned this of the physical element of it. A lot of people, and I have been one of them, said, "Oh, walking football, that's for lazy so-and-so, isn't it?"
Yeah.
Or the infirm.
Yeah,
or something.
exactly.
But it gets quite vigorous, or it can do.
It can do. I mean, you certainly get a sweat on when you come out. People go, "Oh, I'll turn up." And I said, "Look, this is what you need: a pair of trainers, bring a drink. And I don't care what you say, you want a drink. All right, either alcoholic afterwards, not during, obviously. We wouldn't condone that. But yeah, you do. And there are, I won't get into the vagaries of, there are different rules for different football associations. There's about 800, it seems. But by and large, those, you can play for England.
Yeah.
If you wanted to.
Could be a chance finally, Dave.
Yeah?
No. I've told you before, my mum says I'm not to play for England, I have to play for Ireland.
We play for Ireland, there are plenty of it. And Sherwin's brother, and I can't remember his name for the life of me, he lives in Toronto, and they set up one over there, and that's become like the Canadian sort of team, and they travel all over, they're European wide, so they'll do all sorts of things. We haven't made it further than Burnley. I think Burnley, we went over for a little tournament over in Burnley, which was good. They'll come to us, but by and large, we try to stick within the sort of friendly, fun, positive environment. That doesn't mean it's not walk. You see some things, and it is very much walking, and that's fine. That's a group. So we kind of pitch it in between. So a lot of people want to say, "Oh, we want to play competitive until we get thrashed." And then the enthusiasm for it wears a bit thin, or you have you're not picked or something like that. It gets a bit tricky then. So, but we've had 2 festivals over in Todd. One was in July. That was the second one we had, and we had teams from Pendle. We had somebody come over from Stockport. There's a team from Stockport. So a couple from Burnley. So I think we ended up with 8 teams. So, which
are
is
they full-time? So not full-time, full-sized teams?
No, they're not full-time either.
No.
Although I have to say,
Freudian slip.
all I have to say is that organising it all is a full-time
I
job.
can imagine,
all right,
yeah.
And it's your enthusiasm and energy that gets you to start, and the love for it. And Gillian, who's my wife, she would say, "Oh, Mark, it's like you're spending all your time, you get stressed by it all." It's like, you shouldn't get stressed by something that's friendly.
Yeah.
So we play in the sports centre. So you can play pretty much anywhere. So we play in the indoor court.
Yeah.
A number of reasons for that. I think it's people like, "Oh, we love playing outside," and then it rains, and "Oh, I'm not so sure, and I don't fancy that." Plus, you can adapt the indoor in a slightly different way to the outdoor session. So we play. I mean, some of the best matches. I don't think you've played with medicine ball.
No.
Well, right. So if we have, it's 5-a-side indoors, right? And we don't play using the walls anymore. We use the outline of the courts because we wanted to, not that anybody had happened, but we have to be aware that people are getting older, our bones aren't as strong, and headbutting a breeze block in the sports centre is not ideal. So, there are pros.
I can see the fires against that.
There's more chairs inside, that's the other fixture.
Yeah, right.
There's toilets there, that's a fixture. The, God forbid, the defibrillators indoors, you can go and get that. We're lucky with Todd Sports because they've got lifeguards that are looking after the swimming pool, so they're all first aid trained. So we have first aid trainers, first aiders at heart. But it was set indoors because it was a better environment. If you had less, you can play 3-a-side. You play any aside, you just adapt the pitch.
Right, yeah.
But if you
that's the glory of football generally, right
exactly.
from when you're a small kid.
Exactly, and most people would say that is it's putting that kid-like element of fun in there. You don't get too many people thinking, "Oh, you can amend this," but Billy Big Bollocks who think that they're, the best, and it's not about being the best. There are plenty of teams that we can put you in touch with that you might be a better fit in, if that. But we have really good balance on that. We're very clear on the outset what it is that we expect of people. And if it's not for you, fine. You know, that's great. We haven't had to tell anybody no that they can't do that. But we might have said to people that you need to be a bit wary of such and such. We'd encourage anybody to have more time on the ball, so we've all got different abilities and so forth, and we match it. You know, we're not. Who's going to get anything out of if somebody's not that comfortable on the ball to go and nicking the ball off them straight away? It's not ideal. So we have the medicine balls, and the medicine balls go in goal. All right. So it's a five-a-side pitch.
Medicine ball is one of those really heavy.
Exactly. You don't want to kick it.
No.
But it's one of those where the but you could only score a goal if you hit it directly. You couldn't come off the back wall or anything like that. And it has to be. You can't shoot in the goalkeeper's area, which is a semicircle.
So basically, it's instead of a goal.
Instead of a goalkeeper, and the best thing is Sherwin hates it, but other people really like it, and they're very good at it. We might have a penalty shootout at the end. Paul Daly won't mind me saying this. He is the worst. He is very competitive, and you can see he puts so much energy into it. I haven't seen him do it for a while, but yeah, poor Paul. I wouldn't say that he couldn't hit it for toffee, but it's just so funny watching him do it, and it's really, as you hark back to play, you know, childhood play. And it's that element of it, and just seeing people get frustrated by doing it, and it's so good value. So yeah, you don't play. So you play in an indoor five-a-side setup. We have goalkeeper if we've got five-a-side. Four-a-side we'll play rush goalie, goalie when, whatever the terminology is in the localities, which tends to change quite a bit. Obviously in Todmorden we have different allegiances. Todmorden is obviously very different to other parts of the Calder Valley, certainly going towards Halifax side. Very much more aligned to, football-wise, to Burnley, a lot more Burnley. You don't get... I'd be hard-pushed to find a Halifax support. A few Leeds supporters, some Manchester City and United. And that's where it's been interesting with the women, is that the women, when they've come into the football, have either been come through Manchester City, I know you've had Issy Shannon on, or that they'll have been not allowed to play football. You know, we've got a few people who were told at 11, right, you can't play football now because you've reached into secondary school, whatever the nature of it is, and have just stopped doing any physical activity at all. So, right, you're stopping me do something. I used to play with my brothers all of the time. Stop me doing it. I'm not interested. And they're coming back into football 40 years later.
Well, that's the glory of the Lionesses of football. And that, I mean, I don't know much about rugby, but I'm aware that the England women have been doing very well. And that will help women feel more like they can do sport.
Absolutely. And I look at it, and I've coached, not for very long, not very well, most people would say, but girls' football, coaching girls' football is brilliant. You don't have... the rationale for them coming together to play is around play and being with their friends and sharing that experience. And with the boys, it's not quite like that. And that's to do with actually how we consume football, how we play football. And it's very much about being the best. That's historically what's happened. And if you weren't very good, they weren't really very interested in it. You know, you'd probably be picked to play in goal because nobody wanted to play in goal. I love playing in goal, but they wouldn't be able to play in goal. But with women in general, in pretty much all of the sports, you've seen a big spike. Rugby will do the same. Slightly different setup, and it's about the clubs being more welcoming to it. And I would say that of the junior, you know, if you looked at, I don't know Todd juniors so well, but I would expect them to be doing exactly the same things. You know, you see it with Hebden Bridge Saints, which is a junior club that's based out of Hebden, really. The same, you see like these girls' groups spring up and stay, you know, and there's more teams coming on. And really, what's really good is that they're coming in at the under-8s or the tots. So they're coming in and they're just being able to experience it and just have fun. And it's stupid. You have things, if you're playing outside, say at Todd Sports, The AstroTurf, they won't mind me saying the AstroTurf's not the greatest. And actually, in Calderdale as a whole, we haven't really got the facilities that other areas have got. You know, we don't have a big soccer zone or anything like that with a load of artificial pitches. We do in Halifax, but the nearest ones are in Burnley, or you've got to go into Rochdale and stuff like that. So
I've said this before about when you go into Europe, you little tiny villages in bits of France. Got fantastic sporting facilities. Yeah, that rival large towns.
Yeah, and it's a shame. You know, I understand the economics of it and the financial side of it, and I think Todd's actually putting together through the Todd Town deal. I think it is. There is muggers have been renamed, so multi-use games. I forget what the A is, arena or something. They're not called muggers anymore. They're called something else. But I think they're doing one at Todd Sports. I've got a feeling it's in between where the temporary school is and the courts. And the tennis courts that they've done up have been fantastic. But there isn't any money, really. So I think that's it. It's just been a really simple thing to offer people.
That's fantastic. But what do you do with the rest of your life?
Me? What was I going to say? I think walking football and putting my hand up to do stuff seems to be a bit of a trait. So, I mean, I'm retired now. So I've decided that there's nothing else that I want to do other than organise walking football. So I don't have any money, but I do like organising walking football. So and with Gillian, who's my partner, she retired same time as me. We go to Todd. I joined us up for the gym at Todd Sports Centre because you don't have. I mean, you've got Mythenroyd Community Centre in Mythenroyd. I live in Hepton Bridge. That's why I'm saying this. Don't hold it against me. But we joined the gym, so we'd go down there 3 times a week. But I play football, walking football 3 times a week. So I'll play. Well, probably 4 times. I'll play Sunday at Todd, Tuesday at Burnley or Halifax, Thursday Burnley, Burnley, and then Friday maybe Halifax. Although since I've been retired, I can't afford to play them all, so I've got to choose which ones that they are because they're all run on the basis of covering the pitch hire cost and bibs and ball.
Yeah,
bibs, ball, first aid kit. And a pump.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's fantastic. Thanks a lot, Mark.
That's okay.
For coming.
I'll put a quick plug in though. We're 1 till 2. That's what we do. So Todd Sports Centre, you don't need anything other than a pair of trainers. Don't really care what you wear. Just come along for the first time. We'll be glad to see you.
What day was that?
Sunday. Since the beginning, we have a pay what you can model. And nobody should be excluded or precluded from playing sport due to financial concerns. So we would say, whatever it is, just let me know. You don't have to let the group know or anything like that. Nothing said, you play, and that's it. Otherwise it's 5 big pounds. Yeah, we're pretty good. We'll take Lancashire and Yorkshire money and coinage. Although, depending on where it's come from, we do have a person who's chief coin biter to see whether they're ready or if any of the notes are still wet. And there are some people, Dave will say as well in football, there's always somebody that seems to sneak off without. I don't know how they do it. I really don't.
I play with what was the old Gits, there's now Ron Taylor FC.
Yes.
And the lad who collects the money keeps saying, who's put Indian rupees?
Yeah, exactly.
Variations there.
Ron on one of his travels or something like that. Sadly departed, but I think there is that. So, well, it's been lovely to speak to you about it. And, it will continue. Walking football, walking netball, walking cricket. They do flag rugby, similar concept. There's all sorts of things.